Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. I love you all. My name is Miah the King, and I know a joke about a pencil, but it's pointless. Thank you so much for clicking on my video, and if you're wondering why you should stick around, perhaps it's because of the funny jokes at the start of each video, and if that's not enough, perhaps it's because I'm one of the few reviewers out there who can help you figure out if you need a game in 10 minutes or less. Don't believe me? Then stick around and find out. Now then, today we're taking a look at a game just released on Steam called BlueCloud Summit, a roguelike deck builder kind of game developed and published by Star Surfer, released in early access and selling for $15. So, what's with this game anyway? Well, apparently you died, and now some strange woman resurrected you to do her bidding. And from the looks of the cutscene, she's the villain, so let's sum up. You died from a sword to the chest, and now an evil necromancer has summoned you to kill the good guys. Now, it doesn't explicitly say that, however, she comes at you with black wings and uses necromancy, a wildly known dark evil power, and then sends you to kill an angel with white wings and her guards, who look awfully like regular human town soldiers. She's protecting something, and the one who resurrected you wants you to end her. Sounds wholesome enough to me. And that's pretty much it. Get to dying over and over again. So as always, let's go into the good and the bad, followed by my final thoughts. So the first positive point for me was the graphical design. Not the quality, the design. The quality is average. However, the design is very interesting. There's lots of neon lights and flashing lights and really good colors. What I'm going to show you right now, slowly, one after another, are the three different very bosses that you get to fight. They're all technically the first boss, and I guess it's just random which one you get at which time. But between the various different skills and the different enemies, which there's a large variety of enemies here to challenge, and each one is very unique, it's just, there's a lot going on here, and the design of each of them is actually very nice. I mean, I saw a giant wolf with a gun on its back. Now that's shit right there. Like, that's the shit. It speaks to my inner man. Anyway, overall, the design quality here was actually really nice. I love the variety. I love the different spells. And this is just for fire magic, too. Like, there's still the other three different element types, as well as the different levels. Like, there's just so much variety here that it's really nice to just watch. Next up is the overall sound quality. There is a voice actress, but it seems like she only appears in the beginning cutscene, which makes sense because there's not a whole lot of talking here, but she seems to do fine enough. Just a lot of killing, basically. But the music, while not being anything fantastic, was also good enough to fade into the background where it belongs without letting the game feeling boring or stale. And the sound effects are pretty decent as well, though most of them sound reused from other software, but still, sounds are average, which we consider a positive in this business, because believe me, it could have sounded a lot worse. But overall, in terms of sound quality, it's going to sound the way you want it to sound. The next positive point I'd like to talk about is the user interface, stability, and price. In my own personal opinion, when taking all things I know about this game into consideration, as well as the quality before me, I think the price tag is super appropriate. $15 for a little game like this with boundless opportunity, replayability, and dedicated time necessary to get through it, and it starts to feel more and more appropriate. As for the stability, despite being in early access, I only found a few bugs here and there, which I'll talk about in a second, but otherwise I didn't really notice a whole lot. I mean, the biggest plus is how smooth it all ran and how it felt while never crashing. And despite my claims of those bugs earlier, they weren't game-breaking, just annoying. So what were they? Well, like I said, just little things. For instance, I have 88 gold in my inventory, but the game is telling me I didn't have the 50 gold necessary to pay for a rest. That really sucked, because I needed that. Which is funny, because I could literally see my gold on the same screen as the price of the rest, so I knew for a fact that I had the money. Also this! While fighting this boss, there's this little tag under them that merely states I have to attack them 3 times to stun them so they can't heal or hurt me or whatever. But it doesn't say anything about what kind of damage I need to do to stun them, just to attack. Yet when I attack, as you'll see here, that number only goes up with specific moves. And there's no real understanding of what or why. Could be badly designed or badly worded, it could also be a bug. It caused me to lose though, so that was frustrating. And last was the user interface. It's alright, I guess. It's not super awesome or anything, but it gets the job done, and ultimately that's the only thing that really matters with the UI. I will say, though, that I never felt confused or frustrated by it, so they must be doing something right. And last but not least is the gameplay. Now, I have some complaints here as well, but first, overall, I didn't really mind it. Typically, I don't like roguelike games for various reasons, but the gist is this. You move from quad to quad, and at every quad you have something happen that affects you. A battle, an event, a town, whatever. And in each, you have to make a decision which will have consequences. Typical for a roguelike, I suppose. The battles are turn-based, and each turn you have to discard your old hand and draw a new one, which is a little annoying. Your initiative is how many cards you get to have, or how many you get to use each turn, and each card does something different, whether it's giving you defense, attacking the enemies, buffing, whatever. Again, fairly typical for games like this, which is why it's in the positives. The gameplay works as you'd expect it to, and it's not badly designed or anything. No, it has other issues, which I'll go into in the negatives, but the gist of the gameplay isn't awful or confusing or anything. Alright, so that's all I got to say positively about the game. Now we got to go into the negatives. But before that, have you subscribed yet? I mean, why not? It doesn't hurt you in any way. It helps a stranger. And if you hit that bell, I become more than a stranger. I become a friend. A friend who tries to save you money. Every time I put out a new video, that bell lets you know so I can help you and you don't end up wasting money on your video game. See, I'm such a good friend. I'm already trying to save you money. So hit the bell so I can help you out when that game releases that you want. All right? All right. Now then, on to the negatives. And yes, I know it's early access, and a lot of this might be cleaned up, or updated, or changed, or whatever, but it also might not be. And I review games at time of release, not of what it may one day become. So the first negative for me was the mechanics, and boy, do I have a lot to say here, but I'm going to try to make it quick because we're running out of time. They're very poorly designed and very, very, very unbalanced. I've played a plethora of roguelike games ever since I started my channel, and I can just feel when they're being unbalanced. Like, let me give you an example. First off, every single move you make in this game hinders you in a very unfair way. It's not something like, oh, you have one less card, or you gain one less mana, or something that you can deal with later on. No, it's stuff like you lose health every move. Every turn you do something, or you're no longer able to heal anymore. Now imagine getting both of those. It's called anathema, I think, and as it builds, it harms you in ways that almost make the game impossible to do anything. And when I say unbalanced, I mean before I even reached the second level, past the first boss, I already had the anathema curse on me 3 freaking times. And it only gets worse after every time you get it. So by the time I started the second level, I was already unable to heal, I was taking damage each turn, and lost the ability to earn money by 77%. It was complete bullshit. Despite me gaining levels and picking good cards and beating my enemies and not being defeated, I still found it impossible to fight the first boss, and took me 3 freaking tries. And honestly, on the third try, I just got lucky. When you do level up, nothing changes. So leveling up doesn't really mean shit. All it does is unlock new cards that you may or may not find along your path. Hope you don't randomly get ambushed by elite enemies who kill you in 3 turns, because that can happen too, and it happens not so randomly actually. Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. It's not that the game is difficult, it's that it's unfair. But the difficulty is supposed to be in the journey, not the gameplay. It's supposed to be how far can you go before you die, not die on your first step with 0 progress over and over again. There was no way to permanently increase my health, or my mana income, my initiative, or anything that I could find. You need to discover the stuff like that. And you could die along the way and end up wasting a lot of time. And at times, the game decreased my overall initiative and health, but never even told me why. Or when you go to a new section after beating the boss, the game decided to heal my health, but not remove the debuffs I got from the boss. Sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit. So my first battle, I was suffering from bleed, broken bones, and lack of initiative because of the previous boss battle, and they healed my health, but not those. But at least this time it told me why my initiative was down. You know, it had one of those little things under me saying, hey, this is why your initiative's down. So at least there was that. Now, don't get me wrong, I know how roguelike games go, but this was unfair even for those. The simple amount of negatives here do not get balanced out with positives, and it's supposed to be a balance. So it's a bit of an issue, and overall the game needs some balancing. It's way too many bad to far too few good. Oh, and maybe make the levels a little bit bigger. I mean, the idea presented to you, the player, is to head from point A to point B, with every segment of terrain doing damage to you. So, you know, they obviously want you to get through quickly, so it makes sense to just head straight to the objective. But if you do that, you're not going to be strong enough to fight the boss. It's just a bit, well, like I said, it's just very imbalanced. Next up for the negatives is the overall scale of the game. There's a lot of stuff lacking here that I'd like to see either better implemented or just have it implemented at all. Like, there's no real animations here for the player characters or the enemies. I mean, they kind of swing and they kind of attack you, but your character doesn't really do anything, just stands there. But for a game like this, they should really up the explosive power of the battles. Like, give us more action, give us more stuff moving around. The spells look pretty cool, but they could be cooler. The animations should be more pronounced, and please, for the love of all that is holy in video games, make your game faster. It is so damn slow. It takes forever to start a new game because the game takes its sweet time with loading your experience points. The turns in battle take freaking forever as well. I could have been watching TV in the background while playing because it was just so freaking slow. Everything was. And not just like in watching them attack. No, the attack animations were actually a decent speed, but it was attack. Wait 3 seconds. Defend, wait 3 seconds. Cast a spell, wait 3 seconds. Win the battle, wait 5 seconds. Over and over and over and over again, to the point it was driving me insane with how slow it took to process every little thing. Please, game devs, speed that shit up. It is way too slow. Also, why start us off with only the one character? I wanted to play as the cool badass guy from the game trailer. So why am I playing as this chick? I wanted to play as that knight guy. Why not give us at least 2 options in the beginning? It doesn't matter much, but still, connect with your audience a bit. As for the writing, I mean, it's pretty bad, and there wasn't even much of it. Perhaps that's why there wasn't a lot of it, because it was kind of corny and unoriginal. I mean, the idea overall is bland and unoriginal, and I didn't care about the game or the story. There was no reason for me to be invested here, and that's the game's fault. Alright, so honestly, those are the only things I could think of negatively to talk about the game, and they just kind of irritated me more than anything else. I mean, sure, the balancing definitely needs some work, and the game speed does need to be ramped up, and I'd like a bit more of an interesting reason of why the hell I'm doing this and what for, why did I die, what is even the name of this world that we're in, what's my name, who are you, what's even going on, why do I need to do with this at all left unanswered. So what are my final thoughts? Well, honestly, I think it's an average game. It's not something super awesome or next-gen, and it's not some new awesome roguelike to blow your mind. It's just another average one that enters the fray of others. It's going to be lost in the pile of roguelike games. It had a cool art style, and that's about it. Everything else about it is just painfully average. It's not doing anything better than anybody else. So should you buy it? Well, it's only $15, and if you're a roguelike junkie, then yeah, you'll probably get some fun out of this. But if you're not, and you're still interested, then perhaps put it on your wish list and wait and see if it gets any substantial updates in the future first. I'm always looking for a roguelike that can legit pull me in, and I have yet to find one. I was hoping this would be it, because I liked the art style, but it just didn't care enough to give me a reason to be hooked, so I'm not. But yeah, it's average, and it's early access with imbalance issues, missing content, and a few bugs. If you think it's worth it after seeing my video, then I hope you enjoy it, but I'd still recommend waiting a little while. Alright, everybody? Alright, so that's all the time I got for this video. Thanks so much for watching, with a special thanks to those of you who stuck around to the end. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.